Hi there, today's Moravian text reading is from Revelation 14 verse 6 through to verse 16. I just love this passage, and as we've been travelling through Revelation and all the judgment and all the persecution and the famine and the plagues and the wars, today we read about an end time harvest of souls, the gospel bearing fruit at a time of great tribulation. In our passage, we have 4 angels. They're acting as heralds, proclaiming a message. Once again, we've got this multiple layer drama of the spiritual realm being echoed into the physical realm. I don't think for 1 minute that this passage means that we don't have to share the gospel because an angel will do it for us. I think it's more about the angelic world stirring the physical world, God's people, into witness. That said, undoubtedly in these last days we are hearing more and more stories of people who come to faith in Christ without ever meeting a Christian. They encounter Christ in dreams and visions. Perhaps this is something of the angelic realm speaking to people. So the first angel's proclamation is the eternal gospel. There is something unchanging about the gospel message. It is eternal. It is for all people, for all time. Our methods and our techniques may change, but the gospel message remains the same. And this gospel message is, as it says, for all people, every tribe and nation and tongue. Indeed, this is how we play our part in ushering in this new heaven and new earth and the return of Christ. We play our part by taking the gospel into all nations. And the elements of the gospel this angel proclaims, the elements are to fear God, to give him glory and to worship him. In other words, to recognize that he is God and our worship is the surrendering of our lives. That's the gospel. The second angel proclaims the fall of Babylon. And remember, this is happening for John, reflecting a time in the past. It's reflecting the fall of Babylon 500 and odd BC. It's happening in the present as Rome starts to crumble and fall and becomes Christianized. It's playing out in every generation. So for today, well, the dominant superpowers of this day will be brought to their knees. And when I think of the superpowers and strongholds in our society, our Babylons, I think of things like consumerism, capitalism, communism, Marxist power struggles, gender politics. We might think, well, how on earth can those power systems ever be upturned? But history tells us that they can and they will, eventually, either to be replaced by some other dominant ideology, or for Jesus to return. And we saw that, didn't we, with the rise of the scientific worldview to some extent being overthrown by postmodernity and relativism, that pendulum swing. But at one point in history, Jesus will return. All kingdoms and all rulers and all ideologies will be brought down forever. And our passage finishes once again with this incredible revelation of Jesus, a revealing of Jesus as one seated on a cloud, like a son of man with a crown of gold on his head and a sharp sickle in his hand, swinging his scythe at the appointed time to bring in a harvest of souls. How I long for that day. What a day that will be. And I wonder if you would join with me, that we could join together in prayer and in partnering with the host of heaven in proclaiming the eternal gospel, the eternal good news, as we long for that end time harvest. Have a blessed day.